So good morning all of you, ladies and gentlemen. And first of all, thanks to Brand Talks Global for this initiative and also for this opportunity. And a few things, I'm not going to be sharing anything which you don't know already or something which you cannot find on the internet or through books. Everything that which I'm going to be talking are things which you already know. So what we're going to be doing here for the next 45 minutes is just an exchange. This is just going to be a sharing. As much as I'm going to talk, I'm also going to listen. Right? So we'll keep this as interactive as possible. There will be a separate Q&A session, but even during the talk, every once in a while, I will talk to you. Is that fine?
Yes.
So a mic can be passed to the audience, right? And apart from that, since it is Tanglish comedy, since it is Tamil Nadu, and since too many protests are going on, அப்பப்போ கொஞ்சம் தமிழும் யூஸ் பண்ணு, ஓகே தானே? Sparingly I will use some Tamil, ஓகேவா? Okay, வணக்கம். So basically this talk will have 3 segments. One is, since it's a Brand Talks Global initiative, I will give my perspective, how I see brands and branding in general, in short, in simple words. That is one part. The second part is about stand-up comedy per se. The third part is how stand-up comedy became a brand, or how stand-up comedy became a brand story, to such an extent that we are having a talk on this. So these will be the 3 segments of this talk, right? Okay, so when we say brand, what comes to your mind? Anybody can answer. Yeah, when I say brand, what comes to your mind?
Product is soap, brand is Lux or something.
Okay sir, Lux is a brand. Yeah, anything else? Avralukku louda solnu. Yeah? Specific identity of a product. Okay, identity. Yeah, that's good. Then anything else? Everybody here. Okay, before that, how many students here? Students? Okay, quite a few of you. How many entrepreneurs, startup owners, founders, co-founders here? Okay. How many media advertising marketing professionals here? Okay, fine. That more or less covers the entire set. So everybody is familiar with branding at a certain level. So yeah, one person said identity, one person gave an example, Lux. Anything else which comes to your mind when I say brand? Recognition. Okay. Status. Okay. So status, recognition, identity. In the case of Lux, it's a name. So all these things, do you think this is what a brand is all about? Or do you think status, recognition is what you get as a result of a brand? Status is what happens after the brand is established, right? Similarly with recognition. And Lux is a name. When a baby is born, we name the baby. Likewise, the soap is named Lux. So what essentially is a brand? It's a communication medium to talk to a customer. Then what is YouTube? Like TV, radio, YouTube, print, these are all mediums. Yeah, brand is also a medium. Okay, I agree. In a certain way, brand is also a medium to talk to a customer or a consumer. That's true. Yes.
How the consumers or the people perceive our product or service.
Okay. The way in which a product is viewed or perceived, how it is seen in the public's view. That's okay. I think fine. The one way of looking at a brand is the 6 senses of the human mind, right? The human system, right? The 6 senses: sight, sound, smell, touch, feel, and 6th sense, right? So a good brand is one which will induce all these 6. Let's take one example of a brand. We'll go one by one. a telecom service provider. I can't name the service provider. Let's say it's a fictional one, Air Voice. Have you heard of this? Air Voice? Gajini படத்தில் சூர்யா அதுக்கு தான் CEO இருப்பார். ஸோ ஏர் வாய்ஸ்னு ஒரு சர்வீஸ் ப்ரொவைடர் ஒரு பிராண்ட் இருக்குன்னு வச்சுக்கிட்டோம் அப்படின்னா, வாட் ஆர் வி ஏபிள் டு சி ஆஃப் த பிராண்ட்? வாட் ஆர் வி ஏபிள் டு சி? ஐ மீன் நம்மளால் என்ன பார்க்க முடியுது அந்த பிராண்டில்? ஏர் வாய்ஸ் we are able to see the brand name, we are able to see the brand logo, right? We are able to see. What are we able to hear of the brand? So some kind of a jingle which remains instantly of the brand. இது ஏர் வாய்ஸ் ஜிங்கிள் இல்லை, இந்த ஜிங்கிள் உங்களுக்கு தெரியும். So yeah, we are able to hear something of the brand. Yeah? Colors. Yeah, again, sight and sound is done. Then can we touch a brand? In this case, Air Voice, can we touch it in any way? There will be a SIM card. On the SIM card, the logo will be embossed. You can touch the SIM card. Thereby, you can touch the brand. Fair enough? Right. Smell. What about smell? Can you smell a brand? Actually, out of the 6 senses, smell is the most powerful sense. 75% powerful compared to any other sense. So, can we smell a brand? Can we smell a brand?
For example, soap products,
So the-
cosmetics, we can smell.
So we are smelling the product, sir. Are we able to smell Lux? Or yeah? Yeah?
Brand name, wow.
Fog. So again, see, there are some products which we are able to smell. We are actually smelling the product. Are we able to smell the brand? Probably. There might be some cases where the branding is done in such a way a certain smell is associated with the brand. சில தியேட்டருக்குலாம் போனால் அங்கே போட்டிருக்க அந்த நாப்தலின் பால் ஸ்மெல்லு நமக்கு நல்லா மைண்டில் இருக்கும். Something like that. Maybe they might use smell also. Fine. Sixth sense and feeling is what is left. See, in my view, every brand is a feeling. Every brand is a feeling. What we are able to see, what we are able to hear, touch, smell, everything else, it emanates from the fact that we are able to feel a brand. In each of your heads, there are at least 1,000 brands floating around. When I say soap, there are at least 10-15 brands floating around in your head. When I say toothpaste, again another 10-12 brands are floating around in your head. For every category, there are so many brands. So there are at least 1,000 brands floating around in your head. And each of these brands have a feeling which you associate with. The stronger the feeling, the stronger the impact the brand has upon you. Everything else, like identity, status, recognition, repetition of purchase, buying that again and again, these are all consequences or byproducts of this core essence. Every brand is a feeling. This is what I believe. Anybody wants to counter this or agree to this?
Oh, you are talking about the feelings, it's emotional involvement, right?
Emotion is different from feeling, sir. Unarchi vera, unarvu vera. Emotion varumbodhu, emotion is a much strong. Emotion mostly is expressed in a loud way, in a certain way. Feeling is much more tender. You need not even necessarily express it. It is just what you feel within yourself. You feel happy, you feel good, you feel bad, you feel sad, you feel terrible, you feel miserable, you feel euphoric. All these feelings are evoked by brands.
But both of them are interconnected.
Interconnected, yes, certainly. I agree that. Emotions lead to feelings. Feelings are the most, microscopic of it. Emotions, I agree. See, when Sachin hits a straight drive, போட்டு ஒரு ஹைஃபை இப்படி அடிக்கிறதுன்றது ஒரு இமோஷனில் வர்றது தான். பட் சச்சின்னா என்னென்னு நீங்கள் ஒரு தனிமையில் when you are alone, when you are just thinking about Sachin, what all Sachin means to me, I am considering Sachin as a brand, of course. what all Sachin means to me, I'll be able to feel a lot of things about Sachin. It's very emotional, it is very personal, it is very tender. It connects to me at a heart level, right? So that core essence is what every great brand stands for. A brand is a feeling. This is just my perspective. You can think about it. You can think about it in different angles with different examples. So in essence, for me, a brand is a feeling. If you say Apple is a brand, Apple is a certain feeling. Just like Sachin is a feeling. If you take WhatsApp, WhatsApp is a feeling. Google is a feeling. All great brands are feelings. So this is just my view of any brand. And yeah, of course, every brand needs to have a name, a logo, an identity. We need to promote it in different ways, so on and so forth. So this is just one perspective with which I am starting this session. Every brand is a feeling, right? Okay. Now, the other question is, this thing always fascinated me. Do you think 200 years back, marketing, advertising, branding existed?
Yes.
As an academic discipline, like we are studying in classrooms? No, not as an academic discipline. So we have sat down, we have created course, syllabus, curriculum, we are studying it, we are practicing it, we are publishing papers on it, and in B schools and C schools and all kinds of colleges, students are studying, they are coming into the industry, they are practicing. All this is in the last 100 years maximum.
Sir, but in the US they had it before. Like the Harvard University was started on 1600s or something like that.
Okay, sir. Okay, let's say I'll give you.
They had it in the US.
Okay, even let's say 400 years. It's been 400 years old. I'll just concede it to you. But do you think brands are only 400 years old? Branding as a discipline is 400 years old. But are brands only 400 years old? No. Then, can you name one brand which is very, very ancient, very, very old? It's been there for 2000 years, 3000 years, 5000 years. Is there any such brand? Can you give me an example? Yeah, please. Yeah, I want the audience to answer. Any example of a brand which has existed for a long, long time?
Lever Brothers.
Huh?
Lever Brothers.
Lever Brothers.
Yeah. UK.
Okay.
Long time back.
Okay.
Now it's Hindustan Lever.
Fine. Any other brands? Any brand which is 2000 years old? Yes, sir. Yeah.
I would say all religions.
All religions. Excellent, sir. That's a very good answer. Can you give a round of applause for him? All religions. Okay. Let's just spend 2 minutes on this. Let's take Christianity as a religion. It's just as a brand. Okay. Now, if Christianity is a religion, is a brand, who is its ambassador? Jesus Christ. And one brand element. Can you give me one brand element or brand manifestation? Tangible brand element? The cross. Cross is like it's like a symbol, right?
It's not a product, sir.
No, we are just saying Christianity is a religion.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ is the brand ambassador.
Brand which you are talking about a product, right?
No.
Okay, so you are mixing it all.
No.
See, for me, brand means a product.
No, not necessarily, sir.
Sir.
So, even anything and everything and nothing and something and everything can be branded. It need not necessarily be a product or a service. That is why religion, yes, it definitely, certainly can be a brand. We can think about it. Okay, just going further with that. So, Jesus Christ is the brand ambassador of Christianity, which is a brand. And the cross is one of the symbols or symbols of Christianity, the brand. Any other brand manifestations of Christianity? The Bible. The Bible is like what you call the guideline book or the manual, which comes, manifesto or the manual. So see, there are quite a few elements, and Christianity, it's more than 2000 years old minimum.
Sir, the Hindu is even older. We have Bhagavad Gita.
No, it's just an example, sir. So he said all religions. So all religions can be treated as brands. So that means even before branding was studied in some business school, as an MBA discipline, branding has existed. Setting aside religion, ரொம்ப நியூட்ரலாக போனோம் அப்படின்னா என்னோட ஃபேவரட் வேர்ல்ட் கிளாஸ் பிராண்ட் வந்து திருக்குறள். இட்ஸ் அ வேர்ல்ட் கிளாஸ் பிராண்ட், ரைட்? திருக்குறள். இன்னொரு வேர்ல்ட் கிளாஸ் பிராண்ட் வந்து இட்லி. Idli recently has been announced as the #1 healthiest and tastiest food dish by who? WHO, World Health Organization. Idli at least is 2000 years old. Tirukkural is more than 2000 years old. So these things have been brands even before we sat together in a classroom and spoke about branding. So how did those guys actually do it?
All the verbs, treatment, herbal medicine, everything is
Kandipa. Yes. So that means, now coming back to the earlier point, what connects us is not the fact that we are able to study branding in a classroom. What connects us is the fact that branding is a feeling. 2000 years back, a Tamilian, the way he felt about an idli is the same way I am feeling about an idli today. That's why idli still is a brand. Fair enough argument? Think about this. So the first part is more or less over. I end on this note that every brand is a feeling, and it has existed since mankind. Since man was able to feel, man or woman was able to feel, branding began. And it's ongoing. It's evolving. It changes every 50 years, 100 years. But branding is not going to stop after our lifetime, and branding did not start just 100 years back. It's been forever. So that's the first part. Now let's go to the second part. It's the interesting core part of it. How many of you have so stand-up comedy அப்படின்னு சொன்னா என்ன உங்களுக்கு மைண்டுக்கு வருது? Okay, first question. How many of you watched a stand-up comedy show live? Okay, five hands. How many of you watched a stand-up comedy video? Okay, all branding people only watching in videos. Okay, quite a few of you. Okay. Any stand-up comedian whom you are following? Who is your favorite? Whom? Arvind Desai. Yeah. Then? Alex. Then? Kenny Sebastian.
Johnny Carson and Jay Leno in USA.
See, you all US thana sir. George Carlin and Jay Leno. Okay, fine. Then? Russell Peters. Aditya Mittal. Okay, fine. This seems to be a fairly exposed room. That's fine. Okay. See, the very topic is brand story of stand-up comedy. See, if I take a product, you will never have a topic like brand story of a toothpaste, no? You will have brand story of Colgate, brand story of Pepsodent. You will not have brand story of a toothpaste. But this is a specific case where you are having a brand story of stand-up comedy. Why do you think so?
stand-up comedy is a genre by itself?
Yeah, it's a genre by itself. It's a sector by itself. It's a baby industry. Okay, we will get into one area. I'll give you 5 brand names. Tell me what comes to your mind. Okay. Google, WhatsApp, Xerox, PPT. Yeah, that's about it. 4. Google, WhatsApp, Xerox, PPT. What is one thing which connects all these 4?
Xerox is photocopy. The name
Fine.
The name of the brand has become like Dalda.
Dalda, yes. But Dalda, okay, fine. Dalda, I agreed. Yeah. Dalda can be the 5th example. Thank you. So yeah, again I am rephrasing the question. Google, Xerox, WhatsApp, PPT and Dalda. What's the thing which is connecting all these 5? All these are products? All these are products which, but she said, wait. She said, sir, actually Xerox is the name of the brand. The product is actually photocopier. Dalda is the name of the brand. Vanaspati is the name of the product. The thing is, some brands are so gigantic and so monopolistic, economics wise பேசணும் அப்படின்னா so monopolistic that the boundary between the product and the brand have blurred. நான் ஜெராக்ஸ் எடுக்க போகிறேன்னு தான் எல்லாரும் சொல்கிறாங்க தவிர நான் ஃபோட்டோ காப்பி எடுக்க போகிறேன்னு யாருமே சொல்கிறதில்ல. ஜெராக்ஸ் கடை. And similarly, everybody Googles for information. Nobody is going to the internet to search for some information. Everybody is Googling for information. So what happens is when the brand becomes so big, the market share is 90% plus. All these 5 cases, WhatsApp, who is WhatsApp's nearest competitor in India? We will struggle to, yeah? Viber. Yeah, fine. No, that's a far answer. So the thing is more than 90% market share, so monopolistic, so big that the product and the brand are the same, or it looks like the same, right? So what happens in such cases is the brand generally, if on the toothpaste na Colgate is the name of the brand, it's a noun, right? It's a noun. But in these cases, Xerox, Google, WhatsApp, Dalda, they become verbs. That's how we got, confused whether it's a product or a brand. Just one example is, so there's one more example. Yesterday I was wasting time on FB. I even WhatsApped my friend, Macham, what are you doing? Suddenly I realized I had to make a PPT. So I opened the laptop to Google some information. Once the PPT was finished, I took a printout and a Xerox of it. So sometimes brands become so powerful and so gigantic that they become verbs, right? Stand-up comedy is very similar. It's in that zone right now in India. There are indeed some brands, but stand-up comedy itself is a brand. That's how it looks like right now. So for example, before getting into how stand-up comedy came into India and all that, so as I was introduced, I am the founder of Tanglish comedy. So often what happens is, so sir, நீங்கள் stand-up comedy எதில் சார் பண்ணுவீங்க அப்படின்னா Tanglish comedy. Company பேர் என்ன சார்னா Tanglish comedy. It's a very similar case. So I'll get into the nitty-gritties of what it is and all that. Okay, anybody has watched, sir, you said George Carlin and Jay Leno. Have you watched some stand-up comedy videos in YouTube of Western artists? I'm sure most of you would have watched Russell Peters here, right? Yeah? Russell Peters. Any other English artist you have watched? Fluffy. Okay. Anybody else? Okay. So, primarily a brief history about stand-up comedy. Stand-up comedy is a very, 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 very simple, economical, zero-cost art form. All it takes for stand-up comedy to be performed is one human being and an audience. That's all. If you have a mic and a speaker, great. Even if you don't have that, and if somebody's voice throw is good, that's fine. So it's a zero-cost economical art form. And in UK and USA, it's barely 100 to 200 years old. So music has been around for a long, long time, as all of you know. So as part of music concert, the fillers அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க இல்லையா, லக்ஷ்மன் ஸ்ருதி ஆர்கெஸ்ட்ரா நடக்கும்போது நடுவில் ஒருத்தர் மிமிக்ரி பண்ணுவார் இல்லையா, அந்த மாதிரி தான் ஸ்டாண்டப் காமெடி ஸ்டார்டட் இன் வெஸ்டர்ன் கண்ட்ரீஸ். ஸோ இட் வில் பி an opening act, or it will be middle act, or it will be a closing act. That is how stand-up comedy started. But after the response of the audience, people loved comedy, people loved the response. After the response, people had individual stand-up comedy acts. So that's how it evolved in US and UK, primarily the two dominating stand-up comedy countries in the world.
Sir, in USA, in channels like CBS, ABC, NBC, they have a regular slot in the night.
Correct. Correct. I'll come to that, sir. Talk shows, I'll come to that. So, the thing with stand-up comedy is, I'll give you a very simple example for those who have not watched it live. இப்போ வந்து ஒரு வடிவேல் காமெடி கொஞ்சம் நான் தமிழில் பேசிக்கிறேன். இப்போ ஒரு வடிவேல் காமெடி பார்க்குறோம் அப்படின்னா, there is a setup. என்ன எக்ஸாம்பிள் எடுக்கலாம்? ஓகே, அது வந்து அந்த மருதுமலையில் வந்து ஒரு போலீஸ் ஸ்டேஷனில் ஒரு காமெடி இருக்குது அப்படின்னா, there is a police station setup, right? There are fellow co-artists, மற்ற ஆர்டிஸ்ட்லாம் இருப்பாங்க. ஸோ அங்கே அர்ஜுன் இருக்கார், மற்ற ஜூனியர் ஆர்டிஸ்ட்லாம் இருக்காங்க. அங்கே கேமரா இருக்குது, கட்ஸ் இருக்குது, லைட்டிங் இருக்குது, editing இருக்குது, sound இருக்குது, so many things are there. And then Vadivelu is the comedian who is generating the comedy there. Now, just put one person on stage, cut out all the remaining things, no camera, no light, no sound, no fellow artists, no setup, nothing. It's just the human being on stage. You still have to generate the same level and amount of comedy. That probably in very simplistic terms is stand-up comedy. Right? So you are the setup. So இங்கே போலீஸ் ஸ்டேஷன் இருக்கிற மாதிரி ஒரு உருவகம் கிரியேட் பண்ண, மேக் பிலீவ். போலீஸ் ஸ்டேஷன் இருக்கிற ஃபீலை உங்களுக்கு கொடுக்கணும். அப்புறம் போலீஸ் ஸ்டேஷனில் இருக்கிற மற்ற ஆட்கள், ஒரு திருடன் வந்தான், ஒரு கான்ஸ்டபிள் இருந்தார், ஒருத்தர் அங்கே வந்து எழுதிட்டு இருந்தார், ரெக்கார்ட் ரைட்டர் எழுதிட்டு இருந்தார், இந்த ஃபீலை வந்து உங்களுக்கு கொடுக்கணும். அதுக்கப்புறம் நாங்கள் ஏன் மாட்டிக்கிட்டேன் அப்படின்ற ஃபீலை கொடுக்கணும். கொஞ்சம் கொஞ்சமாக உங்களுக்கு எங்கேயோ ரிலேட் ஆகும். நீங்கள் எங்கேயோ போலீஸ் ஸ்டேஷன் போயிருக்கலாம், இல்லாட்டி வேறு எங்கேயாவது அது லைவில் பார்த்துருக்கலாம். அந்த ஃபீல் உங்களுக்கு வர 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 தென் ஒன்லி த காமெடி ஸ்டார்ட்ஸ் கம்மிங் அவுட் இன் ஸ்டாண்டப். ஸோ இன் வெரி சிம்பிளிஸ்டிக் டேர்ம்ஸ் திஸ் இஸ் த ஆர்ட் ஃபார்ம். Everything is the human being, right? Now, branding, marketing has a conspiracy side. For example, super brain yoga அப்படினு US ல ஒன்று இருக்கு. Have you heard of this? Super brain yoga, do you know what it is? தோப்பு கர்ணம். இங்கேருந்து தோப்பு கர்ணம் யூஎஸ்க்கு போய் அதை ரீபிராண்ட் பண்ணி ரீபேக்கேஜ் பண்ணி சூப்பர் பிரெயின் யோகான்னு திருப்பி இந்தியாவுக்கே வரும். அந்த மாதிரி stand-up comedy, do you think only the US guys and UK guys have actually invented it? நம்ம ஊரில் இப்போ நம்ம எப்படி அந்த இட்லி திருக்குறள்லாம் பேசணுமோ அந்த மாதிரி ஸ்டாண்டப் காமெடிக்கான கூறுகள் இருந்திருக்கா? இன் இந்தியா, இன் தமிழ்நாடு 500 years back, 1000 years back.
Tenali Raman is a kind of stand-up comedy.
It's an excellent example. Tenali Raman is a perfect stand-up comedian. இப்போ தெனாலி ராமனோட வேலை என்ன அப்படின்னா, இப்போ நம்ம நாட்டு சிட்டிசன்ஸுக்கு என்ன ஃபீல் இருக்கும், அந்த காலத்துலேயும் ராஜா ஆட்சிலையும் அதே ஃபீல் தானே இருக்கும். ராஜா மேலே, ராஜானா நான் ஆளுகிற ராஜாவே சொன்னேன், எக்கச்சக்க ராஜா இருக்குங்க சார். ஸோ அந்த காலத்துலேயும் வந்து ராஜா பற்றி நிறைய ஃபீலிங் சிட்டிசன்ஸ் இருக்கும். ஆனால் சிட்டிசன்ஸால் சொல்ல முடியாது இல்லையா டைரெக்டாக. அப்போ வாட் ஹேப்பன்ஸ் இஸ் தே ஹேவ் அ கோர்ட் ஜெஸ்டர். கோர்ட் ஜெஸ்டர்ன்றது தான் தெனாலிராமன். அவர் என்ன மக்கள் மனசில் இருக்கிறது எல்லாத்தையும் ராஜா கிட்ட சொல்லிடுவார். ஆனால் டைரெக்டாக சொன்னீங்கன்னா அடி வாங்கி தூக்கு அப்படி தான் போயிடும். காமெடியாக சொல்லுவார், தமாஷா சொல்லுவார், பஃபூன் மாதிரி சொல்லுவார், பொயட்ரியாக சொல்லுவார். ஸோ தெனாலிராமன் வாஸ் ஒன் ஆஃப் த ஏர்லியஸ்ட் ஸ்டாண்டப் கமெடியன்ஸ். இந்த மாதிரி நிறைய எக்ஸாம்பிள்ஸ் இருக்குது ஆக்சுவலி. இப்போ கேரளாவில் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா சாக்கியார் கூத்து அப்படின்னு ஒன்று இருக்குது. Any Malayalis in the room? Any Malayalis? So Chakyar Kuthu, it's at least 300-400 years old. It is a very established art form. அது அப்படியே பார்க்கறதுக்கு நீங்கள் அதோட ஏதாவது ஃபோட்டோஸ், பழைய ஸ்கிரிப்சர்ஸ், ஏதாவது டெக்ஸ்ட் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா அப்படியே ஸ்டாண்டப் காமெடி மாதிரியே இருக்குது ஆக்சுவலாக. இன்னொன்று இப்போ தமிழ்நாட்டுக்கு எடுத்துக்கிட்டிங்கன்னா பட்டிமன்றம். நீங்கள் பட்டிமன்றத்தில் சில பேச்சாளர்கள் வந்து ஸ்டாண்டப் காமெடி தொனி அவங்களுக்கு வரும். ஞானசம்பந்தன், தென்கட்சி சுவாமிநாதன், இவங்கெல்லாம் பேசுகிறதுல வந்து அந்த ஒரு ஸ்டாண்டப் காமெடி தொனி வரும். பொலிட்டிக்கல் சட்டையர் அப்படின்னு எடுத்துக்கிட்டால் சோ ராமசாமி, ஞானி சங்கரன். நாங்கள் சொல்கிற மாதிரி ஒரு எஸ்டாப்ளிஷ் இண்டஸ்ட்ரி, ஒரு எஸ்டாப்ளிஷ் பிளாட்ஃபார்மில் அவங்க பண்ணலை. அவங்களோட ஃபீல்ட் ஆஃப் ஆப்ரேஷனில் தே ஹவ் ஆக்சுவலி பீன் டூயிங் ஸ்டாண்டப் காமெடி இன் வெரி டிஃப்ரெண்ட் வேஸ். ஸோ சூப்பர் பிரெயின் யோகா மாதிரி தான் நம்ம ஊர்லேயும் அது காலகாலமாக இருந்திருக்கிற ஒரு விஷயம் தான். ஸோ தமிழில் என்ன ஸ்பெசிஃபிக்காக சொல்லணும்னா விகடகவி அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. விகடகவி, விதூஷகர்கள். விகடகவி, தி வெரி வேர்ட் இஸ் an anagram. Like Malayalam, it reads the same from left to right, right to left. So these people are poets. கவிதையும் காமெடியும் கலந்து இந்த மாதிரி கோட் ஜஸ்டர்ஸாக அவங்க பேசுகிறது தெனாலிராமன் மாதிரி தான். ஸோ there has been lot of history of stand-up comedy in Tamil Nadu, in India itself. So primarily stand-up comedy in the last 50-60 years, marketing wise, branding wise, they are ahead. Certainly we have to acknowledge that because they have done it as an established industry. நம்ம ஊருக்கும் அவங்க ஊருக்கும் பிரச்சனை அதுதான். ஸோ தே ஹவ் டன் இட் அஸ் அ ப்ராப்பர் எஸ்டாப்ளிஷ்ட் இண்டஸ்ட்ரி. நவ் வி ஆர் கேச்சிங் அப் பிகாஸ் சம்வேர் சோஷியல் மீடியா அண்ட் இன்டர்நெட் கிவ்ஸ் அ லெவல் பிளேயிங் ஃபீல்ட் no matter whether you are in a developing country or in an underdeveloped nation, right? There can be a great stand-up comedian even from Africa. So that possibility comes from social media today. So that's a brief history of stand-up comedy. So if you see the first stand-up comedians out of India are Veer Das and Papa CJ. பொதுவாக என்ன நடக்கும்னா கொஞ்சம் பணக்கார வசதி படைத்த ஆட்கள் வந்து வெளியில் போயிட்டு அவங்க படிப்பாங்க, யூஎஸ் யூகேல படிப்பாங்க, அங்கே வந்து தியேட்டர் எக்கனாமிக்ஸ் அந்த மாதிரி படிச்சிருக்காங்க. படிச்சுட்டு திருப்பி இந்தியாவுக்கு வந்து நம்ம ஏன் ஸ்டாண்டப் காமெடி பண்ணக்கூடாதுன்னு சொல்லி ஆரம்பிச்சது தான் வீர் தாஸ், பாப்பா சிஜே இந்த மாதிரியான ஆட்கள்லாம். These were the earliest stand-up comedians out of India, and they performed predominantly in English and predominantly in pubs and bars, because that is how it happens in Western countries. Right? So it was started by Veer Das and Papa CJ. There are some landmark events which changed the scene of stand-up comedy in India. See, one key word which I have to use here is pop culture. What do you mean by the word pop culture? When I say pop culture in India, what comes to mind? Popular culture. So yeah, popular culture is the expansion. So what formulates popular culture in India? Movies. 70%, 80% is movies. Fashion. The middle class never gets access to much of fashion. Movies, it's democratic. It's equal. Everybody gets equal access to.
The All India Radio songs with Bharati and all that long ago, it was popular during my age.
Okay, at that time that was the pop culture. The Kishore Kumar பாட்டுனா இந்தியா ஃபுல்லும் நிறைய பேர் கேட்டிருக்காங்க. Yeah, that was pop culture at that point of time. So pop culture predominantly is cinema, everything to do with cinema. Whether it is TV, radio or even social media now, சினிமாவோட பை ப்ராடக்ட்ஸ் தான் எல்லா மீடியம்லையும் இருக்குது. பாப் கல்ச்சர், பாப்புலர் கல்ச்சர், மெஜாரிட்டி ஆஃப் இந்தியன் சிட்டிசன்ஸ் வாட் தே ஃபாலோ இஸ் சினிமா. நவ் தேர் இஸ் அ டேர்ம் கால்ட் கவுண்டர் கல்ச்சர். Counter culture. Now let's say we take music. Okay. When I say music, what happens to music in India? What is the majority of us, what music we listen to? Film songs. So pop culture determines what music we listen to, right? Whether it is Tamil, Hindi, Tamil and Hindi, or maybe any other regional languages, we listen majorly to film music. But is that all there is to music in India?
Carnatic music is listened to those who belong to slightly better off or something like that.
Yeah, fine. Carnatic music is there. How many of us know of independent music? Any of you here are fans of independent music? Hip hop Tamil. Super. 7 வயசுலேருந்தே ஃபாலோ பண்ணுறீங்க. சூப்பர். Hip hop Tamil. Any other bands? Hip hop Tamil இப்போ என்ன பண்ணுறாரு அதை சொல்லுங்கள். மியூசிக் தான் பண்ணுறாரு, ஃபிலிம் மியூசிக். யா, எனிதிங், எனி அதர் இண்டிபெண்டன்ட் பேண்ட் ஃபேன்ஸ்? ஹிப் ஹாப் தமிழ் ஒரு பேண்ட் தானே, வேற எனி அதர் இண்டிபெண்டன்ட் மியூசிக் ஃபேன்ஸ்? சைக்கோ இந்தியன் பேண்டா? தாய்குடம் பிரிட்ஜ், ஓகே. அகம், right? Okay, handful of independent musicians. Hip hop Tamila, Agam, Yogi Bean ஒருத்தர் இருந்தாரு, right? So handful of independent music. So இப்போ தமிழ் சினிமா அப்படின்னு எடுத்துக்கிட்டால் எத்தனை மியூசிக் டைரக்டர்ஸ் இருப்பாங்க? பாப்புலர், சார்ட் பஸ்டர்ஸ் 8, 10 வச்சுக்கலாம், 10 வச்சுக்கலாம். So we are a population of 8 crores. 8 crore peoples, 8 crore population. Do we only have 8 good musicians in this state? Only 8 musicians? புஷ்பவனம் குப்புசாமி சினிமாக்கு வெளியில் ஏதாவது பாட்டு கேள்விப்பட்டிருக்கீங்களா அவரோடது? விஜயலட்சுமி, நவநீத கிருஷ்ணன், குன்னங்குடி வைத்தியநாதன். So see, obviously 8 crore people, there will be lakhs and lakhs of musicians. 8 music directors decide the music, majority of us here too, because that is pop culture. So what is counter culture? Bands like Agam, Hip Hop Tamila, or any independent music band, they challenge the popular culture by giving an equal quality in music. See, best song wins, correct? What is one of the biggest viral videos on YouTube, music videos on YouTube? What is it? கொலவெரிடி. அதை விட இன்னொரு வைரல் இருக்குது. கொலவெரிடி திருப்பி ஃபிலிம் மியூசிக் பாப் கல்ச்சரில் வந்துடும்ல. எனி அதர் மியூசிக் வைரல் வீடியோ அக்ராஸ் த குளோப்? கங்கம் ஸ்டைல். Is he a film musician? No. Is he running for chief minister? No. So best song wins. So best song can come from counterculture. Counterculture is one which challenges pop culture, right? So now let's talk about music in America. Do you think all the music we hear in America is from films? Music is an industry there. When music has the potential to be an independent, separate industry, why should it necessarily be clubbed with films? காலகாலமாக அப்படி தான் இருக்குது. அது சம்பிரதாயமாக சூப்பர்ஸ்டிஷன் எல்லாரும் பண்ணுறாங்க. என் தாத்தா பண்ணாங்க, பாட்டி பண்ணாங்க, நானும் பண்ணுறேன். அந்த மாதிரி இருக்குது. Yeah, correct. That's correct. There were silent movies, then there were musicals, then there were talkies. That's correct. That evolution is correct. But my simple question is, for a state of 8 crore people, are there only 8 musicians? Is my very simple question. There are so many other talented musicians, and the best song should win. So counterculture is one which challenges pop culture. Now the thing is, I'll give you a very brief history of results. இது ஐடியலிஸ்டிக்காக பேசுறதுலாம் ரொம்ப ஈஸி. பிஸ்னஸாக ரிசல்ட்ஸாக பார்த்தோம் அப்படின்னா, the average lifespan of any independent music band in Tamil Nadu or based out of Chennai, Tamil Nadu is 6 months to 18 months. No band lasts after 18 months. They are nowhere in the market. To speak of business and branding, they fail at business and branding. If you are a marketing professional who loves challenges, this is a case study right here. I've been observing this scene for 8 to 9 years. The average lifespan is 6 to 18 months. Not because their music is not good. Because they fail at branding, they fail at business. There is a band, probably find it's a good opportunity. There is a band called Oxygen, and they have actually opened for Zakir Khan. Zakir Khan is a tablaist, right? And so they are really world class in terms of their music, but they don't know anything about business and branding. They failed, right? So there are many such cases. So when we speak about results of independent music, the average lifespan of any band is 6 to 12 months, 6 to 18 months, that's all. நாடகம் எத்தனை பேர் பார்த்துருக்கீங்க? தியேட்டர் நாடகம். 18 months they wind up and go back to their IT jobs. அங்கே போயிட்டு கல்ச்சுரல்ஸில் கிட்டார் வச்சுன்னு இருக்காங்க. அதுதான் சொன்னேன், if you are a marketing professional who loves challenges, watch this case study, get into this case study. Somebody else was speaking? Yeah. உங்களை நம்பி தான் அடுத்த ஜென்ரேஷனே இருக்குது இண்டிபெண்டன்ட் மியூசிக், சீரியஸாக. ஏன்னா எங்கள் ஜெனரேஷன் எல்லாம் கோட்டை விட்டோம். Yeah, I understand what you are saying. So this is a case study. So coming to theatre, நாடகம் வந்து எத்தனை பேர் வந்து லைவாக பார்த்துருக்கீங்க? Quite a few. But நம்ம வந்து தொடர்ந்து பார்க்குறோமா? Do we watch like one play every month? Something like that. Are we willing to pay for tickets? No. Why? Is the quality of the theatre not good? Is the quality of plays not good, or is there some other reason? Same thing, they fail at business and branding. And music விட challenging theatre brand பண்ணுறதும் business பண்ணுறதும் actually. Now, with this context and history, what India warms up to, India is a very, very different country. Suddenly it celebrates some crazy things. This is the core part of my talk. How heroes and heroines are produced in India, nobody knows. But once they are produced, they become gods, they become demigods, it's all craziness. ஒரு 2 வருஷத்துக்கு முன்னாடி ஓவியானா யாருன்னே தெரியாது. இன்னைக்கு ஓவிய வீடியோ யூடியூப்பில் எங்கெல்லாம் இருக்கோ தேடி பிடிச்சி வந்து வியூஸ் வந்து எகிரிட்டு இருக்கு. So craziness happens. Now, when independent music has failed, when theatre has failed. Yeah, sorry.
Even that 18 months you told, that happens even to the film stars. Only few of them shine about that.
Film stars, ma'am, not to films. Films are 100 years old.
You're telling they wind up, most of the heroines and heroes, they wind up, probably they do something.
Correct. No, I agree. I agree, ma'am. The average lifespan of a film heroine is 6 years. A hero may be 10 years. Some heroes last 30-40 years. Everybody winds up and goes off. Some production houses produce one films and go off. That failure rate is there in every industry. But once let me finish. But cinema, films is a 100-year-old industry. The problem with independent music is not just the musicians wind up. The bands themselves wind up. Independent music itself is not an industry. That's the failure part of it. Yes, sir.
Sir, the theatre is not gone, sir. S.V. Segar dramas
Yes.
always on road and we see the banners on the
Correct.
road display. S.V. Segar
I agree.
has been there for nearly 30 years or something like that. On and off he was there. So S.V. Segar's dramas are very popular. Drama,
Correct, sir.
still there is a crowd and
I agree.
There is a gathering. But the thing is that because of the modernization, what do you call new media coming about, everything is going off. But theatre is still there in Tamil Nadu.
I agree to that point. 3 theatre groups are very active, commercially successful in Chennai or Tamil Nadu, Tamil-based theatre groups. S.V. Shekhar, Y.G. Mahendran, Crazy Mohan. What connects these 3 people? Cinema. காத்தாடி ராமமூர்த்தி பார்த்துருக்கீங்களா சார்? அவர் வந்து இவங்க எல்லாருக்கும் சீனியர் சார். ஆனால் அவர் பிளே நிறைய பேர் பார்க்குறது இல்லை. Another failure in business and branding. Not because he is not good. It's because they fail at business and branding. Very ரொம்ப சொற்பமான படங்கள் தான். இவங்க 3 பேர் அளவுக்கு இல்லை. So what I was about to say is, with the backdrop of theatre and independent music failing in India, stand-up comedy gives a fighting chance as counterculture to challenge pop culture. It gives a fighting chance. ஏன்? Why? இண்டிபெண்டன்ட் மியூசிக்கால் பண்ண முடியாதது, தியேட்டர்னால பண்ண முடியாதது, ஸ்டாண்டப் காமெடினால ஏன் பண்ண முடியுது அப்படின்னா, நோபடி சேஸ் நோ டு காமெடி. இல்லைப்பா நான் சிரிக்க மாட்டேன், எனக்கு சிரிப்புலாம் வேணாம் அப்படின்னு யாருமே சொல்ல மாட்டாங்க, எந்த மனுஷனும் சொல்ல மாட்டான். Every human being has pain, every human being has suffering, every human being has stress, depression, problems, issues, crisis, and comedy is the greatest remedy for all of these. Or if you have none of this, if you are already happy, I want to celebrate it further with more people. For that also comedy. Nobody can say no to comedy. Now comedy gives a fighting chance. சினிமாவுக்கு வெளியில் ஒரு வடிவேலு உருவாகலாம் அப்படின்ற ஒரு ஃபைட்டிங் சான்ஸ் கொடுக்குது. That's why we are here talking about it as an industry, as a brand story. It has survived 1 decade, 10 years now. You can give a round of applause. It has survived 1 decade already, starting from Bombay, Delhi and Bangalore. So it gives a fighting chance. So நிறைய பேர் ஒரு ஹங்கரோட நம்ம நிறைய விஷயம் எல்லாருமே சினிமாக்குள்ளே போய் பண்ணணும்னு அவசியம் இல்லை, தேவையில்லை, முடியாது, not really aspirational. For all of these people, there is a counterculture. Still they want to reach out to lakhs and crores of people. That opportunity is given by stand-up comedy. So in the last 10 years, if you see very short history, there have been 3-4 events which have changed the game. Great Indian Laughter Challenge. Anybody has seen this show? Great Indian Laughter Challenge? It's a Hindi comedy show. அது வந்து Star Plusல வந்துச்சு. Star Plusல வந்து இன்ஃபேக்ட் கலக்கப்போது யாரோட ஆல்ஃபா மாடல் அதான், இது பீட்டா மாடல் தான். அது தெரியும்ல உங்களுக்கு, அமெரிக்கன் ஐடல் வில் பிகம் இந்தியன் ஐடல், இந்தியன் ஐடல் வில் பிகம் ஏர்டெல் சூப்பர் சிங்கர். So similarly, Great Indian Laughter Challenge, it was a hugely successful show because the talent came from UP, Bihar, Jharkhand, Sikkim, Mizoram. பொதுவாக டேலண்ட்னா பாம்பே சுற்றி தானே இருக்கணும். எப்படி வந்து மதுரையிலேருந்து ஊர்லேருந்து சென்னைக்கு கிளம்பி வராங்களோ, ஹிந்திக்காரங்க எல்லாம் பாம்பே கிளம்பி வருவாங்க. பட் திஸ் ஷோ ஓப்பன்ட் அப் டேலண்ட் ஃப்ரம் ஆல் கைண்ட்ஸ் ஆஃப் ஸ்டேட்ஸ் இன் இந்தியா. சடன்லி பீப்புள் ரியலைஸ் we actually have 29 states and there is talent everywhere in this country. Same thing was replicated in Kalakapodiyaaru by Vijay TV. Suddenly people from Thuthukudi, Nagarkoil, Mannargudi, these kind of places, they came and they became successful. Right? So the first landmark event in stand-up comedy in India was Great Indian Laughter Challenge, which was launched by Star Plus. Then slowly Veer Das, Papa CJ, these people started doing stand-up to very small places, cafes, 30-seater, 40-seater, and then it grew. Then what happened is, suddenly the whites, they realized the potential for a market in India. They set up a comedy factory. That company set up a club in Bombay. It's called Canvas Laugh Club. It's the mecca of stand-up comedy in India. Stand-up comedy எங்கே போகணும் அப்படின்னு சத்யம் தியேட்டர் ஃபார் தமிழ் சினிமா மாதிரி. காமெடி அப்படின்னா இந்தியாவில் வந்து கேன்வாஸ் லாஃப் கிளப் பாம்பே. ஸோ தே ஸ்டார்டட் இட். ப்ரிடாமினென்ட்லி தே யூஸ் டு இன்வைட் UK comics and US comics. They were performing. Indian comics will perform 5 minutes, 10 minutes. That is how it started. But after seeing the response, Indians will respond to Indian artists better than Velagar artists. That started happening. And then slowly, lot of stand-up comedians from India started performing in that place. From 5 minutes, 10 minutes, they graduated to 1 hour. And then a whole bunch of comedians whom you might have heard of, like, starting from Veerdas, Papa CJ, Nitin Gupta, Vipul Goyal, the entire AAB collective, all these people started getting success. Now, one of the other, so Great Indian Laughter Challenge, Canvas Laugh Club, 2 landmark events. The third thing happened, which some of the youngsters here might have seen on YouTube. How many of you have seen this AIB roast? See, this event, whether it is good or bad, as all of you marketing professionals will know, any publicity is good publicity. Bad news is better news than good news. Right? So this roast was something called insult comedy. As per Indian sensibilities and sentiments, it's generally not acceptable, but it's a very Western art form. ஒருத்தனை கூப்பிட்டு வச்சு அசிங்கப்படுத்தணும், ஆனால் எல்லாரும் சிரிப்பாங்க. அந்த மாதிரியான ஒரு art form. But there were a couple of actors, Ranveer Singh and Arjun Kapoor, who had actually agreed to be part of this, and they sold tickets for this. And in the first row, Deepika Padukone, Anurag Kashyap, and a lot of celebrities were sitting, and this was shot and was released in YouTube. How all the youngsters in India, suddenly they were exposed to something new, and it caught like forest fire. பத்திக்கிச்சு எல்லாரும் கண்ணாமரன் பார்க்க ஆரம்பிச்சிட்டாங்க, வைரல் ஆயிடுச்சு. பட் இட் வாஸ் ஸோ அஃபென்சிவ் அட் ஆல் லெவல்ஸ். ரிலிஜன், செக்ஷுவாலிட்டி, ஃபிசிக்காலிட்டி எல்லாத்து மேலேயும் வந்து காமெடி இருக்கவும், the gatekeepers, politicians and so on and so forth, gatekeepers, they did not like this kind of humor. 17 FIRs were filed on this group. 17 FIRs. But like I said, bad news is better news than good news. This tripled the market size of stand-up comedy in India. So that's how the business of stand-up comedy works. From a branding point of view, there was a time when stand-up comedy was sold. If you see Bombay or Delhi, even in Chennai, even now, stand-up comedy is sold. 75 minutes of stand-up comedy, 250 rupees is the ticket. That's all. Who is the stand-up comedy? Nobody cares. 75 minutes, there will be some 100 jokes. I laugh and go back home. Stand-up comedy was sold. Now the industry has matured. The stand-up comedian is sold. That's how you guys named SA, Alex and all of them. Right? The stand-up comedian is now sold. He sells tickets. So Zakir Khan is one of the most recent sensations out of North India. He performs stand-up comedy in Hindi. He himself has sold 50,000 tickets. So as counterculture, it is indeed challenging pop culture. 50,000 tickets is a big deal. That happens only for feature films, some feature films. So that's the thing about the business and branding of stand-up comedy per se. My last segment, last few remarks. Coming to regional language comedy. So once, as I said, Canvas Laugh Club, when they were performing in English, Indians, when they were performing in English, Indian audiences responded better than whites. Now, when the same Indian comedians, when they are performing in Hindi and Tamil and Telugu and Malayalam, the response will be even better, right? Just a fair progression. That naturally happened. After the first batch, second batch, third batch, people started performing in Hindi and English in North. And slowly, 7 states in India picked up regional language comedy. Gujarati stand-up exists. Gujarati, Bengali, Marathi, Malayalam, Telugu, Kannada and Tamil. And in August 2016, lot of things came together and we founded Tanglish Comedy. Arguably the first ever Tamil language stand-up comedy collective. Yeah, you can give a round of applause. So we are 18 months old and we are growing strong. 60 open mics, more than 50 shows. 90 comedians have performed in our platform and we are going very strong. Tamil language stand-up comedy is growing. This is our growth year. A lot of possibilities and promises lay ahead. So that is where it stands now. From a point where stand-up comedy was sold, right now stand-up comedians are being sold. And that's where, as I said, independent music and theatre still lie, they are challenges for any marketing or advertising professional. Stand-up comedy still, there are a lot of challenges. It's growing, but not without its own challenges, adversities and stuff like that. Some numbers to end with. Economic Times and Times of India recently came up with an article specifically on regional language comedy, these 7 states. And the live comedy market size in India is 30 crores, out of which regional language comedy size is 10 crores. And the growth rate is 25% year on year. So One of the other thing is in America, the population is about 33-35 crores. There are 10,000 stand-up comedians. In India, the population is 130 crores. We have only 90 full-time comedians. Sky is the limit from here on, which includes, what's your name? Adi. Adit, which includes Adit and his generation. We look forward to the sky for more possibilities and promises. Hopefully you will be either stand-up comedy audiences or stand-up comedians yourself. On that note, I end this talk. Thanks a lot for this wonderful opportunity.